The ancient council chamber fell silent as Elder Trax rose from his seat, his 7-foot frame trembling with barely contained anger. The massive holographic display showed the smoldering remains of their third outpost this cycle. "We warned them," he said, his deep voice echoing in the chamber. "We warned them not to provoke the humans." The other elders, representatives of the 12 most advanced species in the Galactic Union, shifted uncomfortably. For millennia, they had maintained order among the stars, guiding younger species, mediating conflicts, and preserving the delicate balance of power. Until the humans arrived. "The Vrax Confederacy ignored our counsel," said Elder Mori, her crystalline form shimmering in the dim light. "They believed the humans were weak because they sued for peace 3 times. Elder Trax scoffed. "A fundamental misunderstanding. Humans don't seek peace because they fear war. They seek peace because they fear what they become during war." Admiral Jackson watched the tactical display aboard the UES Defiant. The Vrax had destroyed 3 human colonies without provocation. Each time, Earth had sent diplomats. Each time, the Vrax had escalated. "Status report," Jackson said, her voice steady despite the gravity of what they were about to do. "Operation Hellfire is ready, Admiral," replied Commander Davis. "All ships in position. The Vrax home fleet remains unaware of our presence." Jackson took a deep breath. The Vrax had ignored every diplomatic overture, mistaking humanity's restraint for weakness. But there was a line, and the Vrax had crossed it when they targeted civilian habitats. "Execute," she said quietly. "They awakened something terrible," Elder Trax continued, gesturing to the new footage appearing on the display. "Look at the precision, the ruthlessness. The Vrax home fleet, 117 vessels, destroyed in less than 20 minutes. The chamber erupted with murmurs as they watched the human attack unfold. It wasn't just a military victory. It was devastation on a scale none had witnessed in generations. "How?" demanded Elder Krell, his mechanical eyes whirring as they focused on the display. "The humans have existed as an interstellar species for barely 3 centuries. The Vrax have been spacefaring for millennia. The humans are not like us," Elder Mori explained. "Most species explore space after achieving peace on their homeworld. Humans brought their conflicts with them. They've spent most of their history fighting themselves, their environment, limitations of physics. When they arrived on the galactic stage, they had already fought more wars than most species experience in their entire histories. But they didn't even have faster-than-light travel 200 years ago," protested Elder Krell. "Precisely," said Elder Trax. "Consider what that means. In the span of time it takes most of us to implement minor policy changes. Humans went from combustion engines to warping spacetime." He paused. "And now the Vrax have forced them to turn those talents toward warfare again. The Vrax High Command sent an unconditional surrender 12 hours after the human attack began. By then, the humans had destroyed not only their home fleet, but every military installation in their core systems." In her quarters, Admiral Jackson reviewed the terms her government had drafted. They were surprisingly lenient. The Vrax would withdraw from contested regions, provide reparations for the destroyed colonies, and submit to temporary oversight from the Galactic Union. "They expected us to annihilate them," she said to Commander Davis, who stood at attention nearby. "They would have, in our position." "Perhaps that's why we won, Admiral," Davis replied. "They couldn't comprehend an enemy who exercises restraint." Jackson nodded. "Prepare to transmit the terms and inform the fleet we're going home. The humans have accepted Galactic Union oversight of the peace process," Elder Mori announced to the Council. After demonstrating such overwhelming force, Elder Krell seemed puzzled. "They could have demanded anything." "That's what truly makes them dangerous," said Elder Trax. "Their restraint. They fight not because they love violence, but because they believe in defending certain principles. They're willing to unleash terrible destruction, but only in service of specific objectives." He manipulated the holographic controls, bringing up historical records from the humans' homeworld. "Study their history. They've committed atrocities, yes, but they've also shown remarkable capacity for mercy. They can be vengeful but are equally capable of forgiveness. They harbor immense capacity for both creation and destruction. The display showed images from human history, ruined cities rebuilt, former enemies becoming allies, civilizations rising from the ashes of devastating conflicts. The Vraks believed humans were weak because they kept offering peace. Elder Trax continued. What they failed to understand is that humans don't avoid war because they can't fight. They'd avoid war because they know exactly how devastatingly well they can fight. What happens now? Asked Elder Krell. Now, said Elder Moraine, we make sure no one else makes the Vraks' mistake. The humans have earned their place among us. They've demonstrated both their might and their wisdom. Elder Trax nodded solemnly, and we inscribe a new principle into our guidance for younger species. Never push humans to battle, because when forced to war, they don't just fight, they transform. They become something ancient and terrible, something that has survived countless extinctions on their deadly homeworld. He looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes of each elder in turn. The Vraks misunderstood a fundamental truth. Humans don't fear war. War fears humans. As the council session ended, Elder Trax added one final warning to the records. Be kind to humans, treat them with respect, and never mistake their patience for weakness. For if you force them to unleash their full potential for violence, you will not live long enough to regret it.